After the events that unfolded in Ferguson, St. Louis as a whole realized that changes were needed to be made about our racial divide. Education Plus put together a student summit on race. This was a step towards an answer for the youth, for the future of our city to come together and see a way to move towards healing.
So I was able to pull together a group of amazing leaders from a number of school districts, and we formed a committee. And so we started asking the question, if we want to change, we want to have some positive change, do we start with the adults, or could we possibly empower students like yourself to have their voices heard and be part of that change? And so we came up with the idea of the Race Summit, and as you know, empowering students to have their voices heard and then to take action has benefited students and adults. So that's kind of how it came about initially.
This is the events, thoughts, and feelings that occurred on January 15th, 2015.
Months ago, there was an idea that a lot of committee members had in this room. And the idea was simple. If we gather student leaders from across the St. Louis area, and instead of saying, let us teach you some things, student leaders, we flipped the script and we said, let's learn from you. And let's hear solutions from McClure High School, Rittner High School, Hazelwood Central, Parkway North, etc. And that's why we're here. Now, Project, do you know what the schools are here?
Well, I would like to find out.
All the schools participating in the Race Summit were chosen based on their level of diversity. Some schools are predominantly Caucasian, while others are predominantly African American. All schools spent time preparing for the Race Summit by reading and viewing material on race. Students developed an understanding of what racism looks like in the world today. They were then given steps to be courageous in changing the conversation for their own lives.
It's hard. It's difficult because when your mom has something to say and your dad has something to say and you have totally different opinions from both of them. And I was always taught to be myself and never to go on anything else anybody says, but it's hard coming from that household that always has something to say bad, and you're just trying to think positive and trying to move forward, not backwards.
I think in my family it's normal to discuss racial relations. We do it normally because I'm multiracial, so it's a prominent issue in our household. There's definitely different culture types between my families, so it's always something that we're assessing and thinking about critically.
Experience discomfort. Repeat that.
Experience discomfort.
Quiet, I'm sorry, one more time.
Experience discomfort.
This means that even when it gets tough, you stay with it. Expect it to be a hard conversation. If race were easy, we wouldn't be having this conversation in 2015. It is tough, but you need to stay with it. Sometimes people get quiet. It's okay to be quiet as long as you're not checking out. Maybe you're just thinking, but expect it. The dominating factor about race is physical features. That's the dominating factor. Physical features. The dominating factor about racism is that it is a system. Institutions like schools and the government or authorities or even the insurance companies. When decisions are made that impact one group over another, that's an institutional problem. And finally, according to this definition, what we're talking about is those who benefit. We're not excluding those who wear hoods and shout racial things, but we are talking about more about the system. So this is the first big step we're going to get today. Part one. The first word is called a non-racist. These are people who don't tell those jokes. They don't try to discriminate. They don't use racial slurs. They don't do any of those kinds of things at all. They just don't do it. They're good people. It's a good thing to do. It's a good thing. It's a good thing not to laugh. It's a good thing not to tell the joke. It's a good thing. That's called a non-racist. Say non-racist. Non-racist. You get soft on me. Say non-racist. Non-racist. The next word is called an anti-racist. Anyone who actively seeks to challenge racism. When they encounter it, they don't walk away from it. They face it. They figure out how to address it in a productive way. They go at facing off with it. They don't turn the other way. That's called the anti-racist.
Picture this. It's about 12:45 right now. We in this room don't know what the reality is going to be at 1:30. You know why? We haven't heard your ideas yet. There may be some game changers that you, as student leaders, came up with. How many people find that exciting?
Students then created their own ideas on how to solve the issue of race, and this is what they had to say.
Okay, what's up, y'all? So, my name is Shamor. I'm from Confluence, and
I'm Delaney, and I'm from Francistown North.
Delaney.
Okay, so our idea is called Bridging the Gap. The problem is the lack of communication and trust between races. The solution is creating a friendly and trusting environment between our schools to get a holistic view of our shared experiences. Why our solution is unique is many schools have never tried to come together outside of their districts. Steps we need to take are finding a common ground, staying in touch, and student leader meetings, and planning activities together.
All of the law enforcement, like the police officers, as well as the firemen, to come to the school, and we, as the students, kind of have a day to where we can get together and build relations among the law enforcement, so it won't be as if it's police against students or police against the African American community which we live in, because our school is 97% black. So we want to kind of bridge that gap and kind of come together so we can be a better community. And everyone can do that. Yeah.
Okay, so hi, I'm Daniel Bledsoe. I'm from Hazelwood West, and this is
Tiana Borges from Hazelwood West too.
Cool. So one of the biggest things I see as a problem is the lack of discussion and dialogue and a lack of integration within our schools. So let's talk about race and let's make it open. And I propose as Hazelwood West that we challenge every school to make a creative campaign to open up the dialogue and create a compelling conversation about race that's comfortable.
As University City, we decided that we can actually start a mentoring program for children. Basically being mentors and leaders towards them, such as like a big brother and big sister. This will help the children actually know that somebody's there for them. So they'll get the confidence that they can take any opportunity that they have. And then like it can just, it'll be like your brother for real, and you know.
I may not have the same life as anyone at this table, but by going to your school, staying a night with you, seeing what your daily life is like, I can create an understanding. And through understanding, we can break that ignorance and understand each other better, and that will destroy the hate and racism that we have in our daily lives.
1, 2, 3.
It's great to be with different schools that have different things that we have, like, well, different opportunities that we have, let me say, and just to get people's opinions on how race is being put in stuff and how our community needs to change and how we can change it.